Hi, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요, 여러분. 선현우입니다.
안녕하세요, 안유진입니다.
Welcome to another live Korean Q&A with Talk to Me in Korean. If you're new to this thing, we've been doing this for the past 10 weeks or so to answer your questions. And last week we answered over 100 Korea-related, Korean language-related questions thrown at us by you guys. Awesome. Great job. So keep the questions coming.
네.
And this is 효진 선생님.
안녕하세요. And
안녕하세요.
this is 현우 선생님.
안녕하세요. If you've been studying steadily, like regularly with our lessons, you might have seen us here and there. So today we're just gonna chat with you. Sit here, relax, and talk to you about some aspects of the Korean language and culture.
네, I am looking forward to very interesting and fun questions. So hit me.
Awesome. Hit you. With questions. Okay, so hi everybody.
Hi.
There are so many people saying that it's 2 a.m., 3 a.m., but they're still tuning in. So thank you so much.
감사합니다.
감사합니다. 정말 감사합니다. 봐주셔서 감사하고요. And you can ask us questions in the comment section here, right on YouTube, or you can tweet us at TTMIK. Talk to me in Korean. The handle is TTMIK. You can use this handle to tweet at us. So, Hyojin,
네.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm great because I have
Really?
this accessory on my t-shirt.
Yeah.
Hyojin, right before this live streaming started, she was like, "You really gonna wear that?"
I thought he was joking. I mean, it's okay if it's on here, but
Okay,
here it looks like
So what if I move it here? Or here?
it's better,
Okay,
you know.
I'll keep it here then.
Oh my god.
So everybody, thanks for joining us, and we're gonna go ahead and answer questions right away.
네. 첫
Okay.
번째 질문은 뭔가요?
첫 번째 질문은요. This is from Lucas Pereira.
네.
It will start at 3 a.m. here in Brazil. I can't
Wow.
watch it live, but tomorrow I'll see the video.
아, okay.
Okay, thank you. This
안녕하세요, Lucas tomorrow. Tomorrow's
was Lucas from tomorrow.
네.
Lucas in the future. This is us in the past. What is the past in Korean?
과거.
과거. And
과거. How about
what is-
future?
Future is 미래.
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 Yeah.
현재 is the present, and 과거 is the past.
Yes, and tomorrow is 내일.
내일.
Okay, Mary Catherine says, "Hello, can you explain to me the difference between 진짜로 and
정말로.
정말로?"
Wow, it's interesting because we are making a lesson series
That's right.
about this.
Yes. So basically, the difference is 진짜 is the same thing as 정말
정말.
in most cases, but the difference is 진짜's opposite would be 가짜,
가짜. 진짜's original meaning is the real.
real
the
thing,
real thing.
the original thing, the
네.
authentic item.
And 가짜 is the fake item.
Fake. So this could be fake. Hyojin might actually be at home and she's just sending holographic images to.
Wow, I want to do that.
In that case, it would be 가짜.
가짜.
And 정말 is true story, truth. So the opposite of 정말 would be 농담
농담.
or 거짓말.
Joke or lie.
Yes. So 진짜로 정말로, if you were to actually distinguish the difference, those are the differences. But 진짜로 and 정말로 both just mean really,
Really?
truly.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 정말로?
네.
진짜로?
Seriously?
Yeah. And Salemite says, "Hi guys, I have a hard time pronouncing
리을.
real, especially between vowel sounds. It doesn't quite sound like a trill in Spanish, which I cannot do at all."
리을.
Real. So you were saying especially between vowel sounds. So for example, when you want to say between vowel sounds,
뭐가 있을까요? 이리?
no, like between vowels.
Vowels.
So the real has to be a 받침, the last consonant. Let me just write something really quickly. 일,
이.
일위, maybe.
But it's different because it's 일.
일위,
일위. 일위.
Yeah, like 일위 would be the first rank,
Uh-huh.
first place in a race or something. Like that was totally like really ugly.
That's not any better though.
Anyway, in this case, you would go like 일위,
위.
일위.
Because it's followed by 이응.
Yeah,
So
the
일위.
empty Yeah, consonants are iri.
Iri.
So r, r, r. Yeah.
This sound.
Practice the Spanish rolling sound, r, r,
Ra.
or Italian, r. So then you will be better. Edward Parker says,
If I were to travel to Korea, do you believe I would have to be vaccinated for anything in particular before traveling there? There are a few countries I visited that I require being vaccinated.
that require being vaccinated.
Mm.
Do you know? Not that I know of.
Not that I know either.
Yeah, not that I know
To make
of.
sure, please check the embassy.
Your
embassy.
embassy's website or check with the embassy, but
Mhm.
not that I know of in Korea. Like since the weather is not like tropical, there are not many mosquito-borne diseases. I mean, I've never heard of travelers coming to Korea and getting malaria or like any serious disease, but please do check with your embassy.
Yeah.
But just to tell you, there are not many to be worried about. And Zile also asks, do you have tips on how to pronounce the real better? That's a
okay.
continued
question. You
Just
want to answer that?
yeah, you have to just practice. First, practice with individual separate sounds, but then link them together little by little. And Adriana HDC says, Hola,
Estoy
aquí.
aquí de nuevo. I can't wait to see you live again. Love you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love everybody.
Gracias.
So, estoy aquí de nuevo means I'm here again. So, thank you for being there again. And Tin Tap Nuist says, Hi, Talk to Me in Korean. My question is, in Korea, do the paparazzi investigate K-pop idols' personal lives as thoroughly as those in other countries like in the United States? I think they do.
I think they do too.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure how like deep they go in the States, but I think like idols don't have privacy here.
Yeah. So it's also easier here in Korea to follow them around,
Because
and
it's small. It's like a small country.
Yeah, and also not like professional paparazzi only, but like fans who just have, like a lot of time, and I mean not because they have nothing better to do, but they're that passionate. They can go to concerts and then they can shoot videos or photos with these huge these cameras, and yeah, basically it's easy to follow them.
And there is this word 사생팬.
사생팬. 사생 comes from the word 사생활,
which means one's privacy. And they follow every single little steps.
Yeah.
Their favorite idol.
Yeah. I was like the only one incident that I'm aware of, which happened about a couple of years ago, was one of the 사생 fans actually followed one of the singers into a 찜질방, into a sauna, and there are sleeping rooms here and there, I guess.
Yes.
And then this person was sleeping, and this person the sa생 fan entered the sleeping room and took a photo of this sleeping singer.
That's kind of creepy.
And ran away and posted the photo online. It's nothing special. He's just sleeping. He's wearing clothes, of course, and he's not saying anything. He's not singing or nothing.
Doing anything.
Yes, but it was a huge shock to many people.
Wow.
So yes, paparazzi investigate K-pop idols all the time. Yeah, and Max Brown says,
what is the average age that most Koreans start dating and when they get married?
When did you start dating?
In university.
I see. I think most people start dating in university.
But these days, I think younger kids start dating younger.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in elementary school, I had a friend, not a very close friend. So I was 13 years old, and he was already a father. And so that was a huge issue in my school. Can you imagine a 13-year-old, kid being a father?
Wow.
So that was an incredible, happening, of course. And
of course, like kids date, like elementary school kids date. I dated when I was in elementary school, but I didn't call it like dating.
Yeah,
it's
of course. You're just friends.
Yeah, but
anyway,
in that case,
yeah, that was an extreme case.
Yeah.
And in my elementary school, maybe in my elementary school class, which was like 60 people, I guess he was the exception, and nobody else had anything like a girlfriend or anything. And in middle school, in my class of 50 people, maybe 2 people who were troublemakers. They had girlfriends. And in high school, maybe 5 people who were also called troublemakers because they would, meet girls when they were supposed to be studying. And in college, all those other people, like 96% of the population, they explode. Oh, now I want to date. So
did you go to a boys' middle school and high school?
Boys' middle school, boys' high school, and co-ed university, of course.
Yeah, it's the same for me. I went to the girls' middle school and girls' high school, so I think there are less girls who were dating boys in my schools. But I think like co-ed middle school and high school, there were a little more students who were dating. But usually for our generation, the dating starts in university, but these days it's younger. And for getting married, I think early 20 to not early 20, late 20 to early 30.
Early 30s. So the marriage age is becoming a little later, and dating starts a little earlier. My house is in a neighborhood with 2 schools, and after school, before school, everybody's busy going to their respective schools, but after school around 3-4 p.m. or 7 p.m. I see high school students kind of holding hands, as
in
a
their
couple.
uniform.
Exactly. So all the time. So it's very common. And Susan Pie.
Hi, I was wondering if you could pronounce 훌륭한 for me. I just did it.
Yeah.
Every time I try, this word feels like a tongue twister to me.
Let me do it again. 훌륭한.
훌륭한.
Everybody, repeat after us. 훌륭한.
훌륭한.
훌륭한 means great, desirable, fantastic. 훌륭해요 is it's good, it's great. When something did a fantastic job, you can say 훌륭해요.
훌륭한, 훌륭해요.
훌륭한. And Boo Heart Zile says, my friend went to Seoul and was surprised. Most people spoke Chinese to her. They just looked at her face and started speaking Chinese. She described Seoul as, quote, mini China.
I can't imagine where she was.
Yeah, where did you go? Did you go
Myeongdong,
to Myeongdong?
I think. In Myeongdong, a lot of people who are working in a store, they can speak Chinese, but outside of there, I don't think everyone's...
I think she went to really, really touristic places only.
Yeah.
Because outside of Myeongdong or Dongdaemun, some places, nobody speaks Chinese. And people would run away if somebody starts speaking Chinese to them. One thing to note though, older Korean people, they can read thousands of Chinese characters because they used to read everything.
The traditional version.
Of course. And Jin L asks, I want to ask, are there any superstition in giving presents or gifts? Certain taboos or what not to give someone?
I heard, I'm not sure if it's true, but some people don't give shoes to their loved ones because it means that they might run away.
Run away in those shoes. Yeah, but not...
I don't think it's really strict though.
Yeah, not very strict anymore. So don't worry about it. Just anything is fine. Maybe if you're giving something to an older person, maybe avoid the number 4. I heard a story of somebody going to somebody's wedding and then thinking, 30,000 won is too little.
5,000 won.
Yeah, it was actually a story by Yan, our friend, another fellow YouTuber. So he went to a wedding and he thought, 50,000 won is too much, so I'm gonna go with 40,000 won, which is 4만 won, and 4 is unfortunate number in many people's minds. Modern Chinese speaker says,
do you guys listen to K-pop? If so, which band or singer is your favorite?
Do you listen to a lot of music to begin with? So and so. I don't listen to a lot of music. The only kind of music that I get to listen to these days is, my son is 50 days old today. Exactly 50 days old. So at home we play the children's song. On the mobile, there's songs played. Na 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 na. So that's the only kind of music that I get to listen to these days.
That's kind of cute.
So neither of us listen to a lot of K-pop, I guess.
Not really.
Yeah. Kim Kim Jansen says, do
most people who live in Korea have strong beliefs in ghosts, or does it just depend on the person?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on the person.
It depends on the person. Yeah. Do you believe in ghosts?
Maybe.
Maybe? How about the one that's standing behind you?
Hello? I don't know. I've never really given a thought about it.
I see. I used to believe in ghosts when I was a child. When I was like 7 years old, 8 years old, I used to go to my taekwondo training place, and I would have to go walk past a huge bamboo forest.
Oh, it can be really scary.
Really scary. No street lights. And I would just run through the bamboo forest to go home every night. And I was a really fast runner during those 5 minutes, but most people don't believe in ghosts anymore. There are like movies, I guess.
I don't know. I feel like, why not? I mean, they could exist.
Yeah, but you know, it's better to not fear them, I guess. But horror films are popular.
Yeah, especially in the summer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that people actually believe in the ghosts. Rania Carson says, "Hello, I wanted to send my friend who lives in Korea a birthday gift, but I was confused about how to mail it to her. I have her address and everything, but do I write it in English or Korean?" Just write it in Korean. Yeah. Just write it in Korean and then add South Korea. Yeah. And that should be fine.
Yeah.
Depending on who you use to mail it to her, though, like if you use FedEx, UPS, they might ask you, "Oh, we need an address that we can read
in English."
Yeah, in that case, you might need the English address, but just regular mail, just write it in Korean. Zile says,
"Not sure if you guys know this page, but I would like to share it with you and also everyone watching this. Humansofsoul.com. Yeah, humansofsoul.com. Many real-life stories that will make you go, "Aww." Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, we'll go check it out. Yeah. And Alex Yurkov says, "안녕하세요.
저는 방학 시작해서 이제 시간이 있어요.
My vacation started, so I have time.
지난 8월에 한글 배우기 시작했는데 한국어 공부할 시간이 없었어요.
I started learning Korean last August, but I didn't have time to learn Korean.
Talk to Me in Korean 선생님들 덕분에 많이 배웠어요.
I've learned a lot thanks to Talk to Me in Korean teachers.
한 달 만에 레벨 9에 끝까지 들어버렸어요.
You actually managed to listen to the end, all the way to the end of level 9.
Within a month.
Just 1 month. That's crazy. So awesome. Thank you for leaving this message in Korean. And you also have a question. What is the rule for making verbs into adjectives? So for example, verbs into adverbs.
Adverbs.
There are a few ways. So I'll give you some verbs.
Okay.
Change it into an adverb.
Okay.
To be fast, which is 빠르다.
빠르게. So I just drop the 다 and put 게.
Or 빨리 is possible
빨리,
too.
another way to say fast in adverb form. 빨리.
And how about 쉽다, to be easy?
쉽다. 쉽게.
쉽게 is not a word. 쉽게. And is there any other way to say it? No. Or she is also.
Yeah, it's possible, but 쉽게 is more dominant way to say it.
Yeah, so it's either 리, adding those related syllables, or adding 게. And Hyun before Steve says,
안녕하세요. What are good gifts for older people? When I go to Korea in a few weeks, I will meet my foster parents who cared for me briefly as a baby. I'm adopted. What do you think is a good gift for them?
Well, it depends on where you're from. Always snacks, like food, is great. Or if you know them really, really well. Like, I doubt it in this case if, they cared for you, like, briefly. But anything that can represent where you are from. I've received some T-shirts that actually represent some regions of some countries, and I always like them. So maybe, you can tell stories based on those. Jason Kang says, "Hi, my relatives have told me that I am 되게 순진하다. You are very 순진하다. I was wondering what exactly does that mean, and is it a good thing or a bad thing?" So Okay. So you also left a continuing comment. Look at this one. 순진하다 and 순수하다. So you probably heard people say either 순진하다 or 순수하다. So what's the difference?
순진하다 is more like naive.
Naive?
And 순수하다 is more like innocent.
Innocent, pure.
Pure.
So if you have to just, remember it, you can just think of Hyojin as 순진하다 and think of me as 순수하다. Naive, pure.
I think you are confusing our listeners.
순진하다, 순수하다.
순진하다 it's just neutral, I think, depending on when you use it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of course it is translated to naive, but in some cases you're very 순진하다. The 순진하다, it means you're not polluted by the social, I don't know,
it can mean 순수하다, but it's more neutral, I think. 순수하다 is pretty positive.
Yeah, 순수하다 is always very positive. And Chris Toole says, first time I'll be here live thanks to my awful sleeping pattern. Greetings from England.
안녕하세요.
Thank you for all the content you produce with Talk to Me in Korean. I hope you continue to create content forever. Thank you for
forever.
with us.
So we're gonna live forever.
Yeah, I'm planning to. Just kidding.
That's
yeah. So, Avion Plumber.
Hi, I was wondering, is there any place to live it in Seoul that is cheaper than a hotel? Yeah, hostels.
Hostels? Guest houses. They're cheaper than hotels. And Jason Kang says, second question, sometimes I get confused when to insert the adverb, especially when I'm saying a long sentence. So for example, when you want to say, I go to the library to study every morning, do you say 나는 매일, every day, 매일 아침에 공부하러 도서관에 간다? Or 나는 공부하러 매일 아침에 도서관에 간다. Which one would be right? The answer is?
Both.
Both are right. So the beauty of Korean sentence structure basically is it's really flexible. It might be a challenge for many people, but you can actually, switch things around really easily.
Even like 나는 공부하러 도서관에 가요 매일 아침에.
Yeah.
It works too.
Yeah. As long as the subject comes before the verb, it's fine. As long as you don't start your sentence with 간다 도서관에.
It's not like you have this determined mind. 갈 거야.
Jin L also asks another question.
What is the weirdest or most unusual Korean food you've eaten or even known of? I'd love to try it someday. Ha ha ha.
If you ask Hyojin, she will say red beans. But
I hate beans.
Yeah.
I would say 번데기.
번데기, the silkworm larva, kind of, what do you call it? Like braised in soybean sauce, soy sauce. But I don't think it's weird. I think what's weirder is something that is really popular in my hometown, which is 홍어. It's fermented fish, half fermented. It's kind of on its way from being really fresh and to being rotten almost. And then people eat it with kimchi, and it's sometimes good, like if it's done right. But
I've never tried.
Yeah, you should never try, because especially because you can't even eat beans. Michael Hernandez says,
Hey Hyunwoo.
Hi Michael. When you were learning English, what did you do when you became frustrated with learning the language? Also, do you think it becomes easier to learn languages after becoming bilingual? To answer your second question first, I'm sure many people who are watching this, I'm sure many people can relate to this. Like, I know many of you are already bilingual, trilingual. Hyojin is already trilingual, and many people out there are like multilingual. So after being bilingual, the third, fourth, fifth, sixth becomes much easier.
I think part of the reason is that you know the joy of being fluent in another language.
That's right. And you also realize that there's no magic trick to actually learn it like in one day. So you have to actually work. So that's one bad thing about having been there already. But when I was frustrated, I would just change methods. So I would spend 1 month like working with this book, and I would just change to this book, and I would kind of shift my focus to pronunciation for 1 month, and then shift it back to maybe speaking, listening. So just, everybody gets bored with one method, if you do it for a long time. So,
but don't be bored with Talk to Me in Korean.
Don't be bored with Talk to Me in Korean. If you're
we
bored with
provided a lot of different types of lessons.
That's true. If you're bored with me, you can just study with Hyojin for like a day or two, and then come back to me and study for a couple more years. Jason Kang says,
if I want to say please don't hesitate to blah blah blah, should I say 주저하지 마세요 or 망설이지 마세요?
So you can say 주저하지 말고
뭐뭐
so
하세요.
so and so 하세요, or 망설이지 말고 so and so 하세요. But more naturally, I would say 언제든지.
언제든지. Anytime.
Anytime. 언제든지 would be the most natural one. Susan Pai says,
I hope this question doesn't sound weird, but in Korea, when using the internet, do people type in websites in the URL box in English or Korean letters? I've always wondered this.
So when you type into the address bar, URL bar, what do you type in? It's all English.
English.
There are some websites that use Korean letters, like 한국어.com. It's possible. If you want, you can register your name anhyojin.com.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, even though nobody will visit it, you can theoretically anhyojin.com, 선현우.com. It's possible.
Okay.
But everybody actually uses internet in English. And Scorpion Hunter 555.
I'll finally catch it live. This is such a coincidence, but here's my question. In what grade does English education start in Korea?
When we were in school, it started in the 7th year of public education, which was middle school, junior high. And now it starts like from year 1.
Year 1?
Yeah, like first grade.
Yeah,
I think.
But I heard that even you go to the elementary school, everyone already knows how to read and write English.
Yeah. These days, private institutes, they teach English from age 3, age 4. Daycare centers, they teach English. So I would have to say the answer is maybe -3 grade. 3 years before you go to school. Hyun B4 Steve says, also, what is the best way to pay for things in Korea? Is cash the best way? Or are credit cards, debit cards also good? Or how should one go about exchanging currency while there?
Well, to answer your first question, cash or cards both work just fine. But if you have your debit card, please make sure that it can be used internationally. And for your second question, there are a lot of currency exchange places in downtown areas, or you can just go to a bank and ask for exchange.
Yeah, if you are exchanging from Korean won to like foreign currency, other currency like US dollars, Canadian dollars, they might not have all the money, like different types of bills that you want. But if you're changing from those bills into Korean,
it's
much easier. So yeah, cash, credit card, that's fine. As long as it's like MasterCard, Visa, or American Express, they all work in Korea. Mary Kathleen also says,
what is the most common error you see when English speakers are learning Korean?
What do you think?
Particles. But I advise you to forget about it. I mean, you use it, but it's really hard to perfect it. So just, try to use them. And if you are wrong, people can still understand you.
Yeah. You can still understand Hyojin's English, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
I've given up on A versus the.
Yeah, that was my like 6th blow, like right hook to you. Anyway, my pick would be like switching back and forth and mixing up 반말 and 존댓말. I mean, most people, like even myself, when I look at somebody's speaking Korean, and if I don't care, like, okay, whatever he says, I'm not gonna care. It's fine. But if I'm really communicating with this person, and if this person is younger than me, and if this person says 반말, like casual language without my consent, I get upset. Yeah, because I am valuing this conversation that much, and I'm already that much into it.
Oh.
So please always be very, very careful. Never use casual language with anybody that you're not very close to.
I remember a very funny story I listened to from a radio show. So this guy was walking with his father.
Yeah.
And of course his father is older than him. And this 외국인 approached to them and asked for a direction with 반말, casual language. So the father, old-fashioned guy, he's like, why is he using 반말? And the guy is like, oh, he's a 외국인, he doesn't know very well. And he has to convince his father several times that since he's 외국인, he doesn't know how to speak 존댓말 왜. So they told the 외국인 the place that he wanted to go, and then he got it. So and then he turned around and there was another friend of him, the 외국인, and he was a 외국인 too. And then he was like, "Oh, 저기로 가면 된대요." Like perfect 존댓말.
Really?
Yeah. It was so funny. I remember.
So what was the reason that he spoke in 반말?
I have no idea. It was just so funny.
Wow, interesting. So please be careful with your 반말 and 존댓말, because just like the father in the story, people can get really upset. Like, what are you doing to you know?
It's an automatic like reaction.
Yeah.
When people hear 반말 to them.
Yeah. Like for example, if you see people getting into car accidents, like after a car accident happens, people get out of their cars and they start talking to each other. Oh, I'm sorry. And then if one person starts using 반말, that's a huge fight.
Yeah.
Like
어따 대고 반말이야?
어따 대고 반말이야? 너 몇 살이야? And like the fight won't stop until the police arrives. David L says,
hello, Hyojin and Hyanu. I'm a Hispanic male and my girlfriend is Korean. We've been together for 2.5 years and I am planning a trip to Korea to meet her parents soon. Wow.
Awesome.
Her parents are traditional, so what are some things I can do to impress them a little? Can I please get an answer from both of you guys, male and female perspectives?
All right. So your answer is, what should he do to impress?
Be polite.
Be polite.
Yes. Like be extra polite. Be extra polite by that I mean like I think you have the politeness level that you have to keep in your country. Be over it.
Yeah. And also, I guess do not mirror your girlfriend's behavior, because your girlfriend might be at home and she might feel at home and she's kind of going to be really comfortable, like stretching her legs like really comfortably. Don't do that. They might be watching every move you make. Korean parents are like that, like especially when they see you for the first time. Their daughter's future potential husband. So use 존댓말 all the way, and also be super polite, and especially, really importantly, eat a lot. Like the mother-in-law to be will cook something for you. Eat all of it. Everything on the table.
And another tip is to not show your affection to your girlfriend too much. In front of.
Like keep like this much distance at least. Yeah. Don't go like this.
No.
Don't do this. Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Max Brown says,
since Korea is generally a very conservative country, what do most people think of those
promiscuous performances by singers like Kain or Hyuna? So
by that I assume it means provocative?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess yahan in a way. So just like this person said,
they're
Korea,
like I forgot the word.
In
비판.
Korean, criticism.
Criticism as well. And
What do you feel? Like, how do you feel about those performances?
I always wonder, what do their parents think of it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So people's opinions are kind of split. Most people think of those performances as just, those are just performances. It's their job. It's just media. And in Hollywood, you've seen worse or more in the levels of provocativeness. But yeah, I think the older generation, they are expressing concerns over how things are changing, I guess.
I'm old.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for guys though, like from a guy's perspective, who actually just consumes the media, it's all like welcomed, of course.
Why not?
Why not? You know. But then, if you really think of this person as a real, like a person,
like as if they are your sister.
Yeah.
What would you do?
Yeah, but then the parents might be actually against it.
Well.
But it's something. It's a trend. It's a competition too. Like who's showing more skin?
Yeah.
You know, who's wearing like shorter skirts? It's so bad, so intense these days.
Who dances more provocatively?
Yeah. So it's crazy. Jason Kang says, I noticed that in Korea there are women-only parking spaces, which I found to be unusual. Is there a reason for this?
Yes, there is a reason for it.
Yeah.
Because usually in the parking lots, in the underground parking lots, it's dark and there are not many people there, so there are lots of like crimes happening there. So they made the women-only parking spaces so that only women can go in.
Yeah, and also women-only parking lots. About this one, Evan and Rachel from the Evan and Rachel channel made a video about this, and this is not something only made for women. It's actually like family purposes. So these women-only parking lots are usually like marked in pink, and they're closer to the doors, so that women with children can easily park next to the elevator. Maybe she's carrying a baby stroller all by herself, and she doesn't want to park like 100 meters away from the door. So it's actually for family purposes, not only for women. It's not going to be like if Hyojin and I are driving together and if it's her car, like I'm not allowed in the parking space. It's not like that.
It's not like that.
Yeah. So don't worry too much about it. It's all actually good for a good purpose.
Okay.
And
Jinel. I'm not sure, but I'm assuming that on Korea's birthday certificate, the information are all in Korean. Is it possible to have the name with English letters? Maybe an alias?
Alias? I'm not sure. I think it's all in Korean. Yeah. As far as I know, it's all in Korean. But if you are a non-native resident, I'm sure and I know for a fact that your identification card says everything in English. Corner Millens.
Hey up! I was wondering how Koreans shorten their words for things like road signs, or do you even need to? An English example would be meadow
wall is shortened to
meadow hall is shortened to M hall.
M hall
to fit on the road.
Yes, there are many shortened letters. Like, of course, Korean words are relatively shorter than English region names and places names, but still there are some names that are shortened, and you will see a lot of randomly and what do you call it, like for no reason shortened English words, like intersection or conjunction would be like CONJ or something, like abbreviations that you as an English speaker are not familiar with. You will see those things. Have fun finding them. And Jeremy Bonse says hi. Thank you. And Ayman Hamad says hi everyone. Good morning. It's 10 o'clock in United Arab Emirates. And
Asgaters 102. Oh my, it's 2 a.m. in the US. Good night.
Bye. And IGI Travel.
It's Q&A time this episode. Baby June. How is the baby June?
He's doing fantastic. He's exactly 50 days
sleeping
old.
Well?
Yes, much better. Last night he slept for 5 hours straight. So we were able to rest up.
Is he eating well?
Yes, of course. Like we actually went to the baby photo studio recently, and the studio staff were surprised to see how big he was for a 50-day-old baby. So people are telling us that he's big. So that's good. Erica, hello.
안녕하세요.
And Scorpion Hunter 555. It's 3 a.m. here. Yay, finally. And Sasha Guo says,
hi. So I know that there are. Sorry, I think I'm about to sneeze.
Okay. Many Korean words that were influenced by English. Were Korean words always like this? Are there non-Konglish ways to say words like banana?
for banana, there's no way Korean way to say banana.
Yeah, I mean imported goods, like things that were imported recently in modern Korean history. People didn't bother to make words for them. So banana, computer, coffee, buses, smartphone, stuff like that.
They don't have the Korean equivalent of the word.
Yeah, and even if there was, people don't try to use native words. People use whatever is in fashion and whatever feels stylish. And Ayman Hamad, hi. And I said hi again. And Kara Froger says 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
And also Chris Portillo says
Cyan Portillo.
Here. Yeah.
Sorry,
Cyan, not Chris.
How is homosexuality taken in Korea now? Is there more skinship shown in public between gay couples now?
I would say yes.
Yeah. More than before.
More than before.
But not as much as in some other Western countries.
Exactly. But it's becoming more common and people are, I think, showing a little more respect.
I mean, it is still controversial, but like before in the past, it's not really, it is kind of like an unspeakable, like something that you should not talk in public, but even though it's controversial, people started to talk about it in the media or in public. Yeah,
and there were some celebrities, like Hong Seok-chan especially, who came on TV and proudly came out and, of course he says he had a hard time after he came out. He lost all the, jobs, but now he's still very active on TV and more and more people
are accepting
it. And IMIK3 says
Good afternoon, Hyunwoo and Hyojin. 안녕하세요.
And Ayman Hamad.
I have a question. Do you
speak Arabic language?
Hope to answer me.
We don't know much Arabic, but in the future we will. We want to learn. Assalamu alaikum. IGI travel.
When is the next trip like Yosu? My friend and I had fun last time.
Wow, you were there. I see.
안녕하세요.
Maybe in the future, in the near future, but since we're busy with the coffee shop, which is opening soon. Very soon. We're probably going to announce the opening date
very soon.
Next week or something. So yes, after that we will plan something like that. And Skaters 182 says,
is pronunciation very important when speaking Korean? I have seen a lot of comments about it when criticizing actors.
Very, very, very important. And not only about speaking Korean, I think about any language, trying to mimic the actual pronunciation of the native speakers is really always important and very beneficial. And Jason Kang?
What does it mean when you put 겸 at the end of an action like 갈 겸, 할 겸, etc.?
Yeah, it's just, while you are at it, like you're not only doing this here, you are here to do this, and while you're at it, do this too. Yeah.
So while you're you're being there, let's go there, something like that.
Yeah. While you're in the bank, why not also sit there for a while and drink, cold water, because the air conditioning is really strong there. Stuff like that. XNNFR says,
this live session is so cool and very informative. Thank you. No question for now, but say hi for me to Baby June.
Thank you. I will say hi to him for you. Chiners says, that's quite an unusual place to place a button badge, Hyunwoo.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
Maybe I should do this.
Maybe here.
Here? Here?
Yeah.
Here? Anyway. Where is the next question?
Okay.
Okay, we answered this person's question earlier. And Scorpion Hunter 555 in Korea, what does teasing someone mean? Or how do you say teasing someone? Does it mean, what does teasing someone mean? Does it mean you're close to someone, or can it be used to get close to someone? I've heard this a lot during the grammar lessons. Like during our grammar lessons. Well,
I think it means both. Like in any other countries, you can tease someone who you're already close with, or you can, use a teasing someone thing to be close with someone.
Yeah. I think rather than the teasing part, I think if you laugh together, like smile together a lot, either about a common thing or like about each other, you kind of get to know this person, each other more, and you get closer. So teasing happens all the time in Korea between especially young people. Yeah, not between like people in their 50s, 60s very often, but yeah. In the grammar lessons, we do that because we
Tease me. Tease me.
yeah, maybe that's the reason. Skaters 182 says, is 형님, 누님 used in conversations often? If so, when? 형님. What's 형님?
형님 is more polite way to say 형.
형 means older male from a male's perspective, and 누님 is more polite than 누나, which is an older female from a male side. So 형님, 누님, I say it all the time to 형s, 누nas when I want to be really polite. I say 형님, 누님. Yeah.
Like for example, if I were a guy, I would call someone who is like 5 years older than me 형. But like 10, 15 years older than me, maybe 형님.
형님, maybe. Yeah, it depends on the relationship. And Kara Frugger says,
do you have any tips for using flashcards more effectively or how to make them more fun?
Definitely go check out Anki flashcards, ANKI. Their method is exactly what I used without knowing Anki when I was learning English, and it helped me a lot. So basically it's just spaced repetition. You check at certain spaced periods, but then not at the same time. But like if you know something really well, do it, like check it again 100 days later. Make it happen automatically
so
for
repeat.
you. Repeat at smart intervals. Teresa Sauvier says,
what are the 3 most important things you recommend to a foreigner visiting Korea for the first time? Thanks.
In what aspect? Like food or places? Let's say food. Maybe I would say bibimbap.
I think some things he or she has to remember, like being polite to someone or something like that. I think that's what.
I don't know. Please.
Be more specific.
Let us know. Sasha Go says, can you guys just say muk and muk for me real quick? So let me write it down. So the first one was
mok from maybe 먹다.
And the second one was
목,
your neck. 목. So muk
and 목.
Muk. Sina Love says,
quick question. I was wondering if the weather in Korea now is as hot. I'm sorry.
If that's what you meant, it's really, really cold. Just kidding. It's hot.
It's hot and it's humid. It's really
hot and
humid. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's as humid as Hyojin, if that's ever possible. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I just wanted to avoid the word hot.
Okay.
So I was joking earlier, like I'm jealous of Hyojin because she has such
strong
big arms, strong looking arms. Like show them.
No.
All right. To Love for Peace says,
Korean girls look so perfect, beautiful face and body.
Really? I don't know.
So when they're expecting the very best, but everything was great until they don't shave. Why don't you Korean girls shave? Like the legs?
Maybe, or facial hair, I guess. It really depends on the person.
Yeah.
And which area you go and like what age group you interact with. I think in schools people really don't care much about their makeup, like appearance, because they're all wearing school uniforms. But then in university, I think everybody's really like, they all do waxing and they're all into it. So I don't know where you met these people, like who you are talking about exactly, but I think more and more people are actually like,
all my friends shave all the time, like
legs
and stuff.
Yeah. So I don't know, and but even though even though that's true, like people take care of their beauty aspects. I don't think Korean girls are like so perfect.
Your wife might be listening to you. Okay, next question.
I mean, there
Let
are
us
some
know.
perfect girls, of
Thanks
course.
for teaching me Korean. I went yesterday to the Korean Cultural Center in Madrid. It was great. Now I have a Korean newspaper. My question is about Spanish. People want to learn it in Korea.
Yes, not many people.
Yeah, not as many people as who wants to learn English.
I would say there are about, I don't know, a few thousand people who are learning Spanish in
There
Korea.
are more and more people, definitely.
Yeah. Andrea Cha says,
hi, I've heard that workers don't leave work before their bosses because it's considered rude. I wonder if workers don't usually ask for higher salary because of the respect they have for their bosses. I don't think like a lot of people has like a respect for their bosses because I hear a lot of bad things.
Yeah,
I mean, bosses.
Yeah, there's a lot of talking behind the back or bitching about their bosses going on. So there's no like respect factor. They just don't go home before their boss goes home because they feel that they might be fired.
And the bosses always talk about like how could you leave work so early? Yeah.
So it's not something quantifiable just like that. So people don't really think about it at all. IIIMIK3.
What a coincidence about the address question. I just went to the post office this morning to send a birthday gift to my friend in Korea as well. Did
you send it in using the Korean address or the English address? And it's Mary Yo. Hello.
Hello.
Thank you. And a girl in hoodie says,
hi, I finally cut the live stream accidentally. Wow, I didn't know you changed the time. Again, greetings from Tatarstan.
We're trying a few different times. Yeah, because we can't, make everybody happy. We decided to just, make different people happy at different times.
How about you do it like the whole day alone? And everybody will be happy. I mean, they won't be happy because it's you.
Then what about you doing it all day long?
Okay, next question. Hi, PHIP forever. May I get a quick little shout out from you too? My name is 황치록.
황치록 씨.
안녕하세요. Also, I'm thinking of taking TOPIK this year. Do you have any tips for listening and essay writing? 감사합니다.
감사합니다. 황치록 씨 화이팅.
화이팅.
And tips for listening and essay writing. Listening. Pronunciation practice is the key. You have to be able to pronounce everything perfectly or really comfortably to be able to listen to anything and understand. Essay writing, if you want to start step by step, first start by summarizing things. Other people's writing, summarize it in small chunks, and then start writing on your own. And Miss Videos 17 says,
please help. Is it true that you can only use the 는다 or 니은다 ending with verbs and not with adjectives? 제발.
는다. Yeah, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can't say 예쁜다. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. And it's Marielle, I guess.
It's Marielle.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. My name is Marina, and it means of water, of the sea. Do you know of any Korean names equivalent that mean the same thing? Of water, like
Su something.
Su is water, and other than that, I think you have to just find another letter that you like and then add it to Su, and it could be your Korean name. And Erica.
I know Koreans are careful with age and respect those who are older than themselves, but when comparing years of experience and age, which one comes first? Comparing
experience and age, which comes first?
Age.
I was going to say age too. Strangely. Unfairly. Uriel Ramirez.
Hey guys, how many Latinos or Hispanics live in Korea? Just curious.
We're curious too, but we know a lot of people who are Latinos and Latinas.
And definitely more and more than before.
And Chong Hwang Yu says,
I have learned many grammars from your podcast. I am a student in Taiwan and I want to know if there is any recommended resources to learn Korean words for free.
If you want to learn Korean words, definitely use the online dictionaries that you can use. Naver's dictionary, naver.com, Naver.com has an excellent dictionary. We always recommend it to people. And Miss Videos maybe, 17 says, 안녕하세요. Please, what is the difference between 있어요 and 있나요? You walk into a store and you say, 우유, milk 있어요, and 우유 있나요? 있나요 is a little more polite because you are splitting the attention of the question into two and throwing one half to the other person and the other half to you. 있나?
요?
Yeah, yo. So you're also asking yourself. So it's not like 있어요? 내놔. 있어 없어. 있어. 있으면 빨리 줘. You're not doing that. 있나요? I wonder if you have milk.
But it's a slight difference. So 있어요 or 있나요 can work both can work perfectly fine.
Yeah. Leon Nguyen says,
is it common in Korean culture to have beds on the grounds? Also, are there beds in Korea where you sleep on wooden beds with bamboo on top as cushion?
Yeah, I know what you mean. So if you have just blankets on the floor, we don't call it a bed.
We call it just 이불.
이불 blankets or
comforts.
Yeah, comforts or yeah, 이불 is just different from blankets. But anyway. So bed sheets maybe. So 이불 깔고 잔다. 바닥에서 잔다. We say 바닥에서 on the floor. 자다 to sleep. And also there are like really hard surface beds. 돌침대, stone bed, or wooden beds with bamboo, like strips on top as cushion. So yeah, but I guess more and more people are using just Western style beds, yeah, because that's more comfortable, I guess. And Ino-chan 91 says, I love you guys. Thank you. And
Sean Kim, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
James Kong, I'm 21 and if I meet someone for the first time through a friend or an acquaintance who is 2 or 3 years younger than me, would it be rude if I just say 안녕 반갑다?
Well, if the other person
is teenager, I wouldn't say it's that rude, but if the other person is like, let's say you're 40 and you met someone 36, 37.
Yeah, you wouldn't say that. But since you're 21, you're safe to say it in most cases. But if the other person doesn't know that you are 21, if you look really young, like much younger than your age, like I do,
what?
And unlike Hyojin does, you might get in some trouble. Like, because
you're gonna get in trouble.
I mean, I had a friend, like, she was 3 years older than me. And she knew that I was 3 years younger. So she would use 반말 to me.
Okay.
But her school year was lower than me. She entered school later.
University.
University,
okay.
Yeah. Her 학번, scholastic year was, like, later than mine. So I thought, how old does she think I am? So I told her one day, hey, by the way, I'm this scholastic year. I'm 99 학번. I'm definitely older than you. Why do you keep using 반말 to me? I really talked to her about it. But then she said, 내가 누나야. She's like actually 3 years older than me. So,
must have been really...
Yeah, I felt really bad. And the next question, I'm refreshing the page. We're once again running out of time. We won't be able to answer every question that is left, but we'll try our best. Okay, so let's go. Where is it? Where was the last question?
21.
Okay, Boo Boo Hearts Zile. In response to Hyojin's story about the foreigner and 반말, it's possible that he isn't very good and sure in differentiating 반말 and polite form. Yeah, of course. And Tong Hwang Yu said, I heard many Korean friends said, if you are not very close to a person elder than you, don't say 누나 or oppa. Yeah, I mean, you have to know this person well, I guess.
I think it's more between friends.
Yeah.
With different age.
Yeah, and Kim Ma Shilang says,
didn't know there would be a Q&A today, so happy. Greetings from Philippines.
Thank you for catching us live. And Marie What Up is saying, hello from Vegas. Thank you. And Leon Nguyen, in Korean dramas, why do the people sometimes use half casual speech? Yes, very interesting. Half casual. They start the sentence with 나는 했어요.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not only
yeah.
in the dramas. It's just a habit between close people. Yeah. Do you do that with your boyfriend or your family?
I don't really use 존댓말 to my parents, but yeah, I think some of my friends who are older than me, but if I'm really close to them, I can do that.
Yeah. Is it a must to put on makeup in Korea? No.
Not a must.
Not a must. Maria, what up? And also, baby June and I share a birthday.
Wow.
May 28th.
You forgot your
No, I didn't. Almost.
Birthday.
Also, skaters 182 are all girls and all boys school more popular. Okay, all girls school and all boys school more popular than co-ed.
They were, but not anymore.
They were not really like popular. They were more common. Yeah,
but not anymore.
Not anymore. And there's no way that girls' high school or boys' high school would be popular among students because nobody wants to go to an all girls' high school, all boys' high school. They want co-ed. Maybe parents, want that. Scorpion Hunter says, "Do you think it's hard to make friends in Korea?" Depending on where you go,
and depending on like your personality. Yeah. If you're an open-minded, like active person, it's not difficult.
Yeah. So if you want to make friends, just come to our coffee shop once it opens in a couple of weeks. And we will have regular meetups where you can make friends. Kim Jensen says, "Hi again. Korea feels like a very safe place. What is the most common crime committed?"
That's a very difficult question. I don't really know.
I've never had a crime, like a real serious crime committed to me, but maybe,
Someone broke into my house.
Yeah.
Wasn't very serious though.
Yeah, maybe like pickpocketing was common before in the 70s, but I don't see it anywhere these days. And maybe phone scam.
Scamming.
Yeah, phone scam.
It's really common.
Yeah, my personal younger sister actually.
Your personal younger sister.
My sister. My
Your sister.
Not like my cousin. She actually had this phone scam done to her a month ago, and she lost $20,000 in a couple of hours. So that was like a huge thing in my family. But now we're like kind of over it. But yeah, phone scams are really, really common in Korea. You have to be careful. Do not give anybody any password. So what's your password, by the way?
It's my birthday.
What's your birthday?
You don't remember? You lost your chance.
It's Mario says, "What makes a name feminine or masculine?" There's no rule. You just have to be exposed to many names. Jason Kang says,
"Can you do a 성대모사 of anyone?"
No. What is 성대모사?
It's like imitating someone, doing someone's impression.
Exactly. And Sese Ray says,
"I'm so happy I finally made it to your Q&A. I have always missed them before, especially since today is my birthday." Wow.
Happy birthday.
생일 축하드려요.
생일 축하해요.
Did you see or hear about Girls' Generation on David Letterman in the USA like years ago?
Yeah, I think it was many years ago.
Yeah. I think I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also it was not the whole crew of Girls' Generation, though. It was just a few of them, I guess, unless something else happened. Andrew Ha.
Hey yo, I've been having trouble retaining my Korean while studying French. As you've studied a few languages, how do you keep them unmixed in your head?
The way I do this is just try to have a long conversation in one language with someone at least every now and then. What about yourself? Like, how do you not forget Japanese?
I watch Japanese dramas.
Okay, yeah. So try everything, and you can find the best method.
Maybe one more comment?
All right, let me refresh the page.
Okay.
What am I doing? Okay, here, let me refresh the page and also just go to the most recent comments and then pick one or two. Okay. The last one. That's pretty
Much it.
Much it says,
Is it hard to keep up with Korean fashion? Wait, I'm not really, like, I don't really follow the trends, so I don't really know. Oh, don't. How about you?
No, I don't know. I would say if you want to pay attention to fashion, it's actually very easy. Like the clothes are always on sale. Like you know, you can get the same clothes that like a celebrity wore in a TV show. The next day, you can actually buy it right there and then get it delivered the next day, and you can wear it. You know, so I guess the answer is yes, but only if you decide to follow it. All right, everybody, that's it for today's live Q&A. Thank you for all the really interesting questions. And next week, we're going to come back with another one, and we will prepare some exciting news for the coffee shop as well. Next week, we will definitely going to have some final details as to the launching date. And
there will be no this here.
Here, maybe here, or like on Hyojin's eyes or something. So if you want to actually start learning Korean, if you are joining us for the first time, you can go to talktomekorean.com. And if you are lost, just go to talktomekorean.com/about, and you will learn about us. And yeah, thank you for all the questions. And I didn't get to answer many questions from Twitter. I tried to look, but
Hyunwoo asked me to remind him to look at the Twitter, but I forgot.
I mean,
I warned you.
Yeah, but I checked, and also Sian Portillo answered us back on Twitter. So, but yeah, we will, like, all the questions that are not answered yet on Twitter, we will answer directly on Twitter. But thank you for joining us.
네, 다음 주에 또 만나요.
또 만나요. It's really hot outside, so we're gonna go get some ice cream. And
정말요? It's on you? Yay!
I'm going to go get some ice cream by myself. 안녕히 계세요. Bye bye. 어딨지?
Stop
streaming button. Press.
Oh.
Don't break my laptop. 승인. Bye bye.